Hello, everybody out there. Hello, how are you? What's going on? This is the fabulous deja vu. Okay, guys, so I just want to go ahead and catch you up on this season on FX called Pose. 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 It is like the first television show that has aired transsexuals. I mean, it's a really, really good show. So Ryan Murphy, kudos to you. So the show goes on talking about the past, what really happened in the early 80s. So I'm going to give you just a little bit of history about what happened and how this all came to be. Back in the 60s and the 70s, there was this transsexual. Her name was LaBeija. Her name was Crystal LaBeija. Crystal used to go to all of these shows back in the 60s and 70s and compete in these pageants. But during that time, things were still kind of rocky, and it was still kind of, like that kind of prejudicing, there was no blacks and there was no Latino people allowed. So every time Crystal would go to these events, they were held in Manhattan, she could never win, or she had a hard time representing herself or whatever it comes to, because everything was based on her color. So just to fast forward a little bit, Ryan Murphy started this television show called Pose. So I'm just catching everybody up, letting you know what's going on and how everything happened. This is like the fifth episode. So going back, LaBeija, I'm sorry, let me start all over, guys. Let me get my story together here. So Crystal started this house of LaBeija, and it all started out like in the 70s. So Crystal started her own pageantry where they have these houses that competed with each other. So they got these name brands from these fashion houses in the United States, like the House of Chanel, the House of LaBeija, the House of Ebony. So they just came up with their own little names, and they just came up with these terms where they were just, competing, because they always wanted to live their fantasies out, in mainstream America, but they never had the opportunity because of what was going on during that time, like in the 60s and the 70s. And so they started all these houses, and they would compete in the voguing competition. They would, have these houses, and then they would have these different names of these competitions, whether it would be the categories. They had different categories. Categories could be face, or categories could be Butch Queen in drag, or it could be Femme Queen Vogue, and so on. And so I'm going to speed you up today. So good old Ryan Murphy invented this. He called this show called Pose. And Pose is about, is taken up in the 1980s, I believe. And it started out, with a big, AIDS epidemic, what was going around during that time. And so there was a show called Paris is Burning. That's back to it. That's back to the House of LaBeija and the House of, Crystal, and, House of Ebony, the House of Chanel, the House of Dupree, and they would compete in all these houses. So back again, I know I'm getting you all confused, but bear with me, okay? So now let's talk about Pose. So Ryan Murphy invented this show called Pose, right? And so now, honey, let me tell you, it is absolutely everything. This is like the fifth episode. So last night, we're going to start out about what happened last night. So last night was Mother's Day. And so there's this character on there. Her name is Electra. And there's also there's another main character on there, and I think her name is called Blanca. Yes, Blanca. So Blanca was Mother's Day. Blanca, mother passed away, and so Blanca and her mother had issues because Blanca, became a transsexual, and her, her parents, they didn't want to accept your sexuality or who you are back during the time, and today they still don't, hunty. Okay, so anyway, Blanca mother dies, and Blanca wanted to, have closure with her mother because she, didn't have closure because, her mother, kicked her out when she was, really young. And so she lived on the streets. And that's when she, started to go to these houses and compete in these balls. So, and that's when she met Electra. And so her mother passed away. And so she wanted to go to the funeral, but she was kind of hesitant about going to the funeral because, her brothers and sister and her family, they didn't want to have anything to do with her because of who she is. And so she got the courage up to go to the wake, and she gets there, and her sister, is asking her, "What are you doing here?" And I was like, "Girl, you don't know what she's doing here. She's doing it because she wanted to say goodbye to her mother." And so her brother came up to her later and said, "You need to leave." And she was like, "I'm not going to leave. I have just as much right as you do." And so she did. So she stayed. And so at the end, she left out, with her friends and everything. Everybody was there to support her. And so later on, before she left, her auntie, her mother's sister, came up to her, said, "Why don't you come over to the house and we can, have, some dinner and lunch and everything." So she came over to the house. And so when she get there, her sister, was kind of hesitant about her being there. And then her brother, honey, her brother came up. Well, no, let me back up. So Blanca was in the kitchen and she saw this cookbook because when she was little, her mother used to cook a lot in the kitchen and stuff like that, And so Blanca saw this recipe, this book. Her mother kept all the recipes in it and everything. And she grabbed the book and, she wanted to take it. And her sister came in and saw her with the book. And her sister was like, put it back, and Blanca said, "Well, I see you already sport her ring that, that she had, and you already just wearing it already. And I deserve to have this book." And then, her sister was like, "No, you don't deserve to have anything. You just put the book back." And then her brother came in, honey. All mistake. Her brother came in, girl. I was like, oh my God, he's going to really attack her. He said, "Get out of here. You don't belong here." And so Miss Blanca read him, honey. And she was like, "Well, I think I've come to say you're the one who had all the trouble with, drug abuse and rehab." And honey, he grabbed her and pushed up against the wall, honey. And I wanted to go through that TV, child. I wanted to go through that TV. I said, "Look here, sir, you just watch what you're doing." But I didn't. I kept my cool, okay? But then, so later on, they let her go and she, ran out. Later on, her sister came back over to her house and, said, "You deserve the book." And, Blanca was, being the, like the neighborly person, being like a sister to her other sister, say, "If you want to come in, you're more than welcome to come in." She said, no, she's kind of hesitant to come in because I don't think she really wanted to come in because she's not ready yet. All right, so let's talk about Electra. So, Electra, she was dating this, sugar daddy. Electra has a sugar daddy, honey. Yes, Miss Thing. She has a sugar daddy. Yes. And so she wanted to talk to her sugar daddy, because Electra, she wants to be, go ahead and get everything taken care of with her body so everything will be complete and everything will match. Okay. So her sugar daddy was like, "Well, I think you should just keep what you got because I like a one with a little bit of extra, if you know what I mean." She wasn't having it. So last night, honey, Miss Thing got her operation. So now, honey, she's a post-op female, baby. Yes, she is. But you know what? After the surgery, baby, nobody came to see her in the hospital. No one came to see her in the hospital, honey. You know why? Because this Electra, honey, she's a bitch. Yes, honey. But she is a diva at the same time, baby. But those kids, honey, none of her children of the house came to see her. She was laying up in the hospital bed, and the only person that came to see her was Blanca, honey. Blanca came to see her, and she's trying to let Blanca have Miss Electra, honey. She's always trying to be fierce and trying to be strong and trying to be fierce and heavy or whatever. But anyway, she comes and she's like, "Oh, who brought you?" Blanca was like, "Oh, who brought you the flower?" And she was like, "My man brought me the flower." She's like, "Oh no, honey, if your sugar dad had bought you," that's what I'm calling. She didn't call him sugar dad. She was like, "If your sugar dad had bought you those flowers, you would have a room full of flower plants." But she said, "You must have bought those flowers for yourself." And she did. She only had one vase of flowers in her room, auntie. Yes. And so, and of course, Blanca brought her some flowers in. And she said, Blanca just wanted, be nice to her because Electra was the one who brought Blanca into the scene, into the house scene, to the ballroom and all that. And she wanted to pay her respect. And she just told, when she got there, she told Electra that her mother had passed away. And she just wanted to thank her, for helping her out during that time. And so, and after that, so she kind of like, explained to Electra while she was there. And Electra came a little bit more softer, I think. Yeah, she came a little bit more softer. So after that, she left out. And so now here we go. So they started up with the ballroom. So there was a competition, honey. They had the House of Abundance against the House of Evangelista, honey. That's the House of Blanca's, baby. And so the theme was Mother's Day, child. And Miss Electra, honey, Miss Thing brought it, baby. She was looking fierce, honey. She had the cape up and she was walking and everything, honey. And all of a sudden, honey, she whipped the cape back and she had the children sitting there and drinking tea, darling, like they was at the tea party, honey, in England, honey. I was gagging, honey. And so then she got up, then the kids did the little thing. I was doing the little voguing, they were voguing and carrying on. And child, and after that, baby, Miss Electra and her kids came up. And Miss Thing came up, baby. She was looking fierce. But, honey, she could not touch Miss Electra. Miss Electra, honey, she's a diva, honey. And, of course, Miss Electra got 10 across the board, baby. Oh, and wait a minute now. There was something else I got to tell you about. Guess who else came to the ball, darling? Stanley's wife came to the ball, baby. Now you know Stanley is in love with or infatuated with Miss Angel, baby. And so Miss Stanley, Pebbles. Her name's not Pebbles. Her name is. Well, anyway, I can't remember her name right now, honey. It'll probably come to me later. And I'll tell you about it. Patty, yes, honey. Miss Patty came to the ballroom, baby. She wanted to know who. First of all, she went to the apartment building where Miss Angel was staying, and you know, because Stanley had bought her a whole apartment, baby, to pay the rent up for like 3 months in advance or 4 months in advance or whatever, baby. It was something like that. And so she found out about it. She found out about it because Stanley's boss came and told her, said, I've been following him and you know what's going on. But I think Stanley boss won't, not Stanley, yeah, Stanley boss want his wife for himself, baby. And he gave her the receipts, baby, and told her that he has been like coming to work late and staying out late. And he wanted to know that he followed her. And he found out that he had her up in an apartment, baby, had Miss Angel in an apartment. And he gave her the receipts, baby. Child, he gave her the receipts, baby. He gave Miss Patty the receipts about where she was staying and everything. And so Miss Patty was not having. She wanted to go and see what's going on. And so Miss Patty went there to the place where she was staying, baby. But Miss Angel had left, baby. She had left the premises. She had left the premises, darling. She was gone. Bye. She was gone. Right? And so later on, the way she found out, so she went there. So I guess the apartment owner was coming there, and he said, "Can I help you?" She said, "Yeah, I'm trying to play Miss Angel." And he told her that she was gone, and so he asked. And so Miss Patty asked, you know, the lease office agent or whoever he is, child, did he know where she was? And of course, honey, he gave her the receipts too. He gave her the receipts too, child. Who does that? You can't. Well, anyway, let me go ahead and tell you what happened. So she got the receipt, and so she went to Miss Angel's. She went to Angel's resident where she's living now, and you know, with the house of Evangelista, baby. And you know, she was already at the ball anyway. And so she gets there, she goes there and says, you know, looking for Angel. Angel's already gone by behind her. Miss Angel's at the ball. So anyway. Fast forward, she went to the ball and everything. And so at the ball, she saw, you know, she was kind of skeptical going up in there, baby, because the girls, honey, when she walked up in there, when Miss Patty walked in there, they was gagging, honey. They were like, oh, she's cunt. Oh, look at her nose. Girl. They had no idea she was real, child. She walked through that bed, and it was like, girl, who's your nose? Who is your doctor, baby? They had no idea that she was real fish, baby. They had no idea, honey. So anyway, so she sees the ballroom and she sees Angel, finally sees who Angel really is. And so after the ball scene was over, baby, Miss Thing walks out, and she saw Angel, and she was like, hi, I'm Stanley's wife. And Miss Angel was gagged, honey. She was goop, baby. She was goop, honey. She didn't know what to say. And Miss Thing was like, can we talk? And I'm sure they did, girl. What they talked about, I don't know, honey. But we will have to find out what happened next week, baby. And what, you know, and see what happened on that, because I am curious, honey, because you know how it is, honey. The curiosity kills the cat. Yes, baby. So we have to find out what happened next week. And again, please subscribe to my YouTube channel down below. If you have any comments that you'd like to say, please feel free to leave them there for me so I can see what you got to say about my video. And thank you all so much for tuning in. This is Deja Vu. And remember, always be you and be unique. Talk to you later, boo-boo.
I have no plans to speak publicly this afternoon, but we'll see. We'll be watching and have any updates on Channel 2 Action News at 4.
Ta-ta!
Channel 2's Dave Huddleston was on that ride. He joins us live now from downtown Atlanta. Dave, in the last 20
I got to figure out how to stop it. Stop it. I'm trying to figure out how to stop this video.